Hello friends, welcome back to this channel. So in the previous session we show how to attach EBS volume to your EC2 volume to your EC2 instance. Now in this session we are going to discuss about IAM. So without any further ado, let's get start the session. IAM is AWS's identity and access management. It's a service that helps you control access to your AWS resources. In AWS, you can create groups, users, and roles with IAM. Users can have groups. For instance, an administrator's group can give admin privileges to users. And users can authenticate, using a login and a password, with optionally using a token. You can have multi-factor authentication, called MFA, using Google Authenticator compatible software. Or, you can also use an access key and a secret key. Those are the API keys we have been using in the labs earlier. Then, we have roles, and roles are actually quite interesting, because roles can give users and services temporary access that they normally wouldn't have. The roles can be, for instance, attached to EC2 instances. From that instance, a user or a service can obtain access credentials. Using those new access credentials, the user or service can assume the role, which gives them permission to do something. I think it will all be more clear with an example. You create a role called MyBucketAccess, and you assign the role to an EC2 instance at boot time. You give the role the permission to read and write items in the bucket called MyBucket. When you log in, you can now assume this MyBucketAccess role. Without using your own credentials, you will be given temporary access credentials, which just look like normal user credentials. The result is that, even though initially you wouldn't be able to read and write in these buckets, you can now read and write items in MyBucket using those temporary credentials that are given to you. Now instead of a user using the AWS command line utility, a service can also assume a role. The service needs to implement the AWS SDK. When trying to access S3 bucket, an API call to AWS will occur. Now if roles are configured for EC2 instance, the AWS API will give you temporary access keys, which can be used to assume this role. After that, the API can be used just like when you would have normal credentials. And this really happens in the background, and you don't see much of it. So to summarize, when this service uses the AWS SDK in the background, it will access another AWS service that will see that you can assume this role. It will give new credentials, and using these new credentials you can have some elevated access over this role. Don't worry, I am going to show you in demo as well, so, if you don't fully understand yet, it will become clear during that demo. IAM roles only work on EC2 instances, and not instances outside AWS. So, it's not going to work if you have a server outside AWS. You cannot assume this role. Those IAM roles only work within the AWS network. The temporary access credentials also need to be renewed. They are only valid for a predefined amount of time. This is also something AWS SDK will take care of. First, back to users and groups. To create an IAM administrator group in AWS, you can create the group and attach the AWS managed administrator policy to it. So now, you have a group, and then you have managed policies. Those managed policies are policies that you can attach to a user or group, and those are already created by AWS. So, this is how it looks like. We are going to create an AWS IAM group, called administrators. And I am going then to attach this policy to this group, and this policy, because the administrators group doesn't have access to anything yet, but only when I attach this policy. This policy is called administrator access, something that AWS created for you already. It creates policies for you. You can also create custom policies. So only when you attach this, then any user added to this administrators group will have administrative access. They will be able to do everything in your AWS account. So you can also create your own custom policy, and then this one is going to do the same. So, let's say that you have the group administrators, and you are going to attach a custom policy to it. They are going to have to create a policy statement, and the policy statement contains effect, action, and resource. The effects can be allow or deny. In this case, it will only allow. Action is going to be everything, star means everything, and resources is also going to be everything. So, you basically allowing every action to every resource in AWS, which gives you administrator access. Next, you create a user, and attach it to a group. So, here we create two users, admin1 and admin2. And we are going to attach admin1 and admin2 to our administrator group, and that is what I am going to show you practically. So let's see how to create IAM users and groups using Terraform. So as you can see, I have this demo 8 folder here with iam.tf. Now this file contains an administrators group, a policy attachment, two users, and a group membership. So I just need to do Terraform apply. As you can see, apply complete. And you're wondering now how to set a password. Well, you should set the passwords in the IAM console actually, because otherwise your credentials would be exposed in the state file, and you don't really want that. So, the safest way is to create the keys or to create the passwords within the console, or using the AWS command line. In the next lecture, I will talk about IAM roles and I'll show you in detail how those work. I hope I gave you a clear explanation about this. So guys, that's it for this video. I hope you liked it. I will see you in the next lecture. If you have any question or any doubt, feel free to ask in the comment section below. I will answer you as soon as I can. Thank you for watching. Bye and have a nice day.